What a sweet little two-game sweep and unexpected two-game sweep that was for the Mariners. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome into the Seattle Mariners post-game recap. Mariners sweep the little two-game set with the Padres. They win this one 2-0. They improved to 51-43 on the season, and they will maintain their two-game lead in the American League West. Before I dive any further, do me a favor, smash the like button. Helps out tremendously. Comment your thoughts on the game down below. And don't forget, if you're new or lurking, to please hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel tremendously. About 240 subs away from 4,000. So we are on the road to 4K. And really a nice little two-game sweep here for the Mariners. I'm not going to lie. Didn't really see it coming. Tough matchup. San Diego's a good baseball team. They're flawed, but they're a solid team. And especially with this going on with, while the Mariners are playing San Diego, Houston's been hosting the Miami Marlins, and really huge to get these couple wins while Houston's hosting Miami, because you figure they're probably going to finish off the sweep tomorrow. I'm assuming they play tomorrow. So nice job by the Mariners to go on the road here and get a little mini sweep, if you want to call that. And a tough pitching matchup today. Michael King has been really, really good for San Diego. Bryce Miller's been solid. I'm not going to stand up here and knock Bryce Miller, but he hasn't performed as well on the road. And, he's been more a middle back-end rotation type guy. Not bad at all. Again, middle back-end guys that are under club control for multiple seasons are extremely valuable. So I'm not knocking Bryce Miller, but this was a tough matchup coming in. Padres team that doesn't swing and miss a lot, doesn't strike out a lot, puts the ball in play. Not only do they put the ball in play, but they do it with good hitters. And the Mariners offense has scuffled, right? It looked better yesterday, but, didn't feel great here going against Michael King. But they found a way. They found a way to get the job done. Bryce Miller's outstanding. Bullpen a little shaky there in the end, but found a way to get it done. And the offense does just enough. And a little momentum back for the Mariners. And now you go to, Anaheim to play the Angels for 4, a team that is not a good baseball team. Baseball's weird. I will always say that. Just as I will never doubt that the Mariners could beat Baltimore in a 3-game series or the Yankees or something, I'll never put it past another team to also beat the Mariners in a 3 or 4-game set. So doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it is a series coming up where you should be favoring the Mariners to, probably win that series. And the goal is to get to that all-star break with the lead in the division. Then you got Houston coming in to start the second half. So let's go ahead and break this one down. Bryce Miller, 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no earned, no walks, 1 strikeout. You'd like to see a little more strikeouts there, but, it was his last batter. I think Cronenworth, his last batter, is his first strikeout. It's not a San Diego lineup that strikes out a ton, so I didn't expect Miller to come in with 7-8 strikeouts. I actually thought some of the hits he gave up were kind of seeing eye singles and just got through on the infield. Was giving up a little bit harder contact in that 6th inning, but found a way to get through it and to strike out Cronenworth. Bryce Miller's fantastic today. Absolutely fantastic, and it's exactly what they needed, right? Your opponent is a strong pitcher. Your offense going up against strong pitcher. You're not expecting to put up a ton of runs offensively today, and you needed a strong pitching performance from your starter, and they got that from Bryce Miller. Absolutely outstanding. He has struggled on the road this year. Good to see him turn it around there and get the W. And what'll be his last start before the All-Star game. And truthfully, finishes up a really strong first half. I'm still not going to say I think Bryce Miller is that I'm necessarily like a top-end starter. But again, if Bryce Miller is your 5th best starting pitcher, you are in really, really good shape, and a tremendous, tremendous outing from Bryce today. And like I said, it finishes up a really, really solid first half of the season. It's really not first half. We're kind of into the 2/3 mark now, but you know what I mean. Austin Voth continues to be really good, pitches a shutout 7th inning with a strikeout. He's another guy that's kind of gone from, he's all right, he's solid, to I'm kind of starting to trust Austin Voth in some high leverage spots here. And he's obviously earning the Mariners' trust too, because he has kind of become that 3rd guy right now behind Munoz and Stanek. You would assume here in the coming days, weeks, it'll be Santos moving back into sort of that setup role. But in the meantime, Voth has done an outstanding job. Ryan Stanek pitches 2/3 of an inning in the 8th. I did not think Stanek looked sharp. I actually thought he was kind of lucky to get the first 2 outs. Just did not have good command. Wasn't finding the strike zone. And it showed at the end. He ends up walking Sullivan. Is it Bobby Sullivan? Who is it? Brett Sullivan, the backup catcher for the Padres, and then gives up the base hit to Arise with 2 outs in the 8th. I'll always give a pitcher credit when they don't have their best stuff and they're able to find a way to get some outs. and he did that. He got Peralta and Kim out to start the inning. So good to see. I don't think there's anything wrong with Stanek. I just don't think he had his stuff today. The fastball command was really hit or miss. Didn't really have the splitter too much either. Battled through it, was able to get a couple outs. Would have been really nice for him to finish that 8th inning. The Mariners do go to Andres Munoz for the 4-out save. Munoz's first batter, Jurickson Profar, has been outstanding this season, going to the All-Star game, 891 OPS. One of the more random breakouts of this season. He's been a solid player. There's nothing wrong with Jurickson Profar. He's been a nice role player. But, this year he has been a legitimate borderline superstar. And Munoz gets him to strike out, swings over the top of 3 sliders. Munoz stuck with the slider to Profar and got through it and got him out in the 8th. But then, however, to start the 9th inning, Munoz not nearly as sharp, walks Cronenworth, walks Machado, but does get Solano to ground out. And truthfully, if it was hit a little bit harder, would have been a double play ball. Only play there was to first, so you got 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Any bloop ties it. Jackson Merrill, who's been really solid this year, strikes out on a slider, and then gets David Peralta on off the bat what I swear was dropping in for a 2-run single. I even did the, oh no. And then JP Crawford comes up with it, and the Mariners take home a W. Tremendous to see. Munoz was great in the 8th, getting Profar. Started out the 9th, not sharp at all with the 2 walks, but I thought he settled in after that. Threw some good pitches, got the ground out from Solano, strikes out Merrill. Was having a little trouble putting Peralta away. Got him to swing over the top of a couple sliders, but then Peralta started spinning on him a little bit. And I'll be honest, I don't know if it was a slider or fastball that he lined out on. Probably pretty solid exit velo on that hit, but doesn't matter right now. You just need W's, and the Mariners found a way to get it done. So the bad news is you probably don't have Munoz tomorrow. I would assume he's probably down unless it's an emergency. The good news is you have Gregory Santos now to fill in that role. So you're not that Voth, Stanek, Saucedo haven't gotten the job done for this team on the back end, but you've got a little boost coming in now. So, overall the Mariners end up walking 3, striking out 4. Half those strikeouts were from Munoz. Voth and Miller got the other ones. Listen, anytime you pitch a shutout, you did something right. You absolutely did something right. And I thought it was a tremendous start from Bryce Miller. Voth was outstanding. Stanek was shaky, but ended up essentially getting the job done. And Munoz was asked to do a lot today, right? To get, I think that's his 6th 4-out save of the year. It's weird because in some ways it feels like they've overused Munoz, but I also don't think they have, because they've been pretty good at getting him days off after outings like that. And we're also, I don't want to say we're in the home stretch of the season here. There's still 68 games left. That's a lot. But we're well into the dog days of summer here. The Mariners are in a pennant race. You're going to have to rely on guys to get 4 or 5 outs sometimes. It just is what it is. It's the same thing. Cal's going to have to start catching, all 3-game series at some point here. It's just, you don't have to because you got Garver there could do, but you know what I mean? You're going to have to start leaning on guys. There's no, obviously I'm not trying to say injure guys and just have them pitch no matter what, but you're going to need them to give a little bit extra now as we really now push towards, the final leg of the season, final third of it here, essentially. So nice job by the pitching staff. Like I said, anytime you can hold an offense to 0, and a good offense in San Diego. I'm not sure where they rank in WRC plus. Let me actually pull it up. Where do they rank in WRC plus in baseball? Let me see. Team batting 2024. They are, do I have it already done? San Diego is 5th. They're 5th in baseball with a 113 WRC plus. So they've been a really, really solid offense. I know they made good contacts. You haven't struck out a lot. That doesn't always mean that you've been necessarily an amazing offense necessarily, but they have been. They've been really good this year. So that's a very impressive shutout for the Mariners pitching staff. Offensively, you know what? I'm not going to say they had a good offensive day. They scored 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks. This isn't going to be the day that I go, wow, what an offensive performance. Michael King is really good. He has been a really good pitcher this year. And the Mariners scored about what most teams have scored against him this year. 1 to 2 runs in 6 innings. That's about what he's given up, and that's what the Mariners did against him. So I'm not going to knock them too much for this performance day. 1, they found a way to get the win. And I know that winning can sometimes mask poor performances. I get it. But we are at the stretch of the season where you need the wins. And the offense did just enough. And also you hit a bad pitcher yesterday in Mazer. So you did work against the poor pitcher in this series, and you found a way to scratch out a run or two against a really good pitcher. What have I said in these post-game recaps? I'm not asking for 8-9 runs. I'm asking for 1, 2, 3 runs. Another run would have been nice. I'm not going to lie. It would have made probably the game a little less stressful. But they put up some okay at-bats against King, got some runners on base, and when they did get runners into scoring position, they found a way to bring them home. And the Padres bullpen is also lights out. Suarez, Estrada, and Moran, is that how you say it? Moran have been absolutely lights out this year. So I'm not really going to bash the offense today. I'm not. Now, this Angels series, you're facing some iffy pitching. And if you can't put up some runs in that series, I'll go back to being critical of the offense. But they played well yesterday. I ripped them apart on Sunday. What am I going to do? Rip them again? They just won. They played well yesterday, and they found a way to get a couple runs off Michael King today. I will absolutely take it. Absolutely take it. This is not the game where I think this shows they're terrible against a pitcher like this. Not a lot to talk about. JP was 0 for 3 with the walk. Mitch Garver 0 for 4. Disappointing series in San Diego after a nice series in Toronto. Again, still some of this with Garver. Luke Raley was 1 for 3 with the base hit, was also hit by a pitch, so he was on base twice. Julio 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Disappointing after yesterday, and that Julio kind of looks like he's been turning it on. But again, against King, and then he also faced Estrada. I'm not going to rip him too much for that. That's a tough matchup for a right-handed hitter. So kind of get a pass today. Cal was 0 for 3 with the walk. Ty France 1 for the base hit. Jorge Polanco 1 for 3, an RBI single and a walk. He also put the ball in play that scored the run in the second. It was an error, but good to see Polanco put the ball in play and on base 2 more times. Listen, I will say this, since it's 2 games, but Polanco's swing decisions look better. Looks like he's seeing the ball a little bit better. He's making better contact. He hit that bat against the lefty. I want to say Moran. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Someone can correct me in the chat there. Lefty for the Padres, who is ridiculously good. His Savant page is like 100 percentile on everything. Polanco hit one down the line. It was foul, but it was good contact. Really nice series for Jorge Polanco. And listen, I called for them to DFA these guys, France, Polanco, Haniger, after the Blue Jays series. I don't have a problem with them playing. If you're going to keep them, you should try and get something out of them. Again, I was just at a point where I can't watch this anymore. But if Jorge Polanco can get going, and I have said this before, so maybe I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but the best thing for the Mariners would be to get Jorge Polanco going. He is their best option at second base. He hasn't shown that so far this season, and truthfully, the production he's given you, you'd probably get better production out of Dylan Moore and Ryan Bliss. But the best bet for the Mariners to have success would be an improved Jorge Polanco, and he has shown that the last 2 games. So another chance against maybe some poor pitching in LA to showcase something, and maybe we can have a big second half from Polanco. That would go a long way for this team. It would save them from having to acquire a second baseman at the deadline. And Polanco's been a good hitter in his career, so just boost the lineup in general. So listen, I don't, again, I'll stand by what I said on Sunday, and 2 good games does not change a season by any means. But I am willing to throw away the first 93 games of the year and look to the future. I am willing to look ahead this season and see what's happening. And if Jorge Polanco can turn it on and be good, then that is going to be huge for the Seattle Mariners. And so far, 2 games into that kind of, when I was ready to move on, 2 games into it, he's been fantastic. Rojas, tough game over 4. Bliss pinch ran for Polanco, by the way, was caught stealing in the ninth. No problem with that. Try and move Bliss in scoring position, see if he can steal a run there. Rojas is scuffling, and the strikeouts have seemed to go up a little bit. And then Dylan Moore, 1 for 3 as well. Like I said, 4 hits, 3 walks. I think a hit by pitch in there as well. Not the greatest offensive performance ever, but facing a good pitcher tonight. And honestly, the last couple games, they have swung the bats better, right? They swung it well in San Diego last night with Logan on the bump. As frustrating as that Toronto game was on Sunday, they had the base run. I was just so frustrated at that loss because it was such a frustrating loss. But taking a step back, they did put up 4 runs, which is better than we've seen on some games. They had a lot of base runners. They just couldn't finish it. The game before they scored 4, then they had 2, then they had 7 against Baltimore. The offense has been playing a little bit better. And I get it. I get if you're going, really, Jay, you're going to start praising the offense. No. They're still bad overall. But any signs we can get, that's kind of the players are the microcosm of that. I'm not trying to claim Jorge Polanco's back, but it was a good series for him. And if he's going to stick on this roster, that's the best thing. Do I think he's back? I have no idea. I have no idea if Julio's back, but it was good to see him have a huge game yesterday. It was good to see Cal swing the bat better. It was good to see Ty put a ball in the gap because these guys are on the roster. You need them to be good if you want to win this division. Do I think they should be DFA now? I mean, you can't really you can't keep Polanco, have 2 good games and DFA him. So obviously, no, I'm not going to call for that right now because they kept him. He's had 2 games that have been solid. Like, think about an employee. You're like, I got to fire this guy. And then he has, turns in the best report of the year that he's had. I mean, you can't really fire him then. You kind of got to go, well, we gave him the second chance, if you want to call it that. And so far, that's kind of the point I was trying to make. If you want to view it as that, them holding on to Polanco into the San Diego series, they gave him one other chance. And so far, he has answered the bell, answered the call here a little bit. Great series win or not even a series win. Great little sweep for the Mariners. That's a tough series against San Diego. And like I said, with Houston playing Miami, that could have gotten really ugly there. And today kind of felt like you stole one a little bit. Yesterday, I think when you look at the pitching matchups and everything, I don't know if Seattle was favored. I don't really look at baseball betting odds game to game, but probably a game you'd expect to win when you look at the pitching matchup. Not that that's mattered a ton in the past sometimes. Today was one that I honestly didn't think they would get. I thought they would struggle to get this one. I thought King would shut them down, which he did for the most part, but they found a way. And I thought this might be a tough lineup for Bryce Miller, and he navigated through 6 shutout innings. So it's not like they stole one in the sense of like that Yankees game where they were down 3 runs in the 9th and they won it. It's not stealing one like that, but it's kind of a game that I just didn't expect them to win, and they were able to pull it off. And I was kind of like, I'm okay with a split in this series and then go to Anaheim and do some damage. So let's see. Let's see if this team can finish the first half with a little bit of a flurry. I've got so many distracting noises here. I got my son playing Fortnite out there somewhere. I've got the dog barking, so I apologize. I'm kind of looking all over the place. I don't know if you just heard them. I guess Fortnite brings out the screams and everything in my children. So obviously they didn't watch the Mariners game because they'd be celebrating instead. Normally on tough Mariners games, I say that's what they've been watching. But this was a good one today. That 9th inning got a little dicey, but they found a way to pull it off. You're going and playing a very beatable team here to finish off this first half. Going to the second half of the season in first place, it's going to be a tough battle. You're going to have Houston coming in to start the second half. Probably have Verlander back. They'll probably have Kyle Tucker back. They're going to have their big guns ready to go. But so should the Mariners, right? You should have your big 3 going in that series, Kirby, Castillo, Gilbert, in whatever order. And hopefully some of these guys are showing some signs of life because a good Jorge Polanco, it will go a long way to helping this team. So would a good Ty France. So let's see if something's going here and Julio heating up. It's a tough game today, tough pitching matchup. I'm willing to throw it away. Let's see if this team can get a series win in LA and really get this thing rolling. Feels good to win a couple. Mariners were scuffling a bit. They were 6-12 in the last 18. Feels good to stack a couple wins together and get a little mini sweep. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the Mariners win. Take care. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow for the post-game recap. I do want to give a shout out to my channel members. Members, I will be live Saturday or Sunday. Let me know what works best for you. Don't be afraid to post in the comments here what day would work best for a live stream for you guys. If you're not a channel member, think about becoming one. We hang out. We do live streams. I'll have some kind of contest giveaway in that stream as well. So just want to go ahead and give my members a shout out real quick. Here we go. Shout out to my man, Kevin Kirby. Thank you for being a member. C. James, you just joined 5 days ago. Thank you so much for joining. Hannah, one of the OGs, the originals. Thank you. Honda Civic, appreciate you. George Clement, Mark Squire, the last contest winner. My man, Y2K, DW, Trevor Hiddle. I really appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for all your channel support. And I just hit something and the members went away because, of course, there we go. William Cook, Mr. Moses, and Gunny Studios. Those are probably the 3 that have been with me the longest. I appreciate all of you. Mr. Moses, I know you had a different account thing. I'm going to try something on Saturday to do a stream. I'm going to try to get you a membership. So just be on the lookout for that if you're watching this. Thank you all for all of your support, and we'll be streaming this weekend. Take care, everybody. Go Mariners. Enjoy the W. Peace.